Let's talk about Erling.
Give me the champagne!
Braut.
Whoa, what's going on now?
Haaland.
Haaland on that left foot!
In this video, I'll be discussing why the next people to get Haaland's signature should not be Man United.
Nope.
Not Real Madrid.
Nope.
Not Man City.
Nope.
But Adidas. Hello guys, welcome to SubStanceFtbl. My name is Sub, and in today's video, we've got another stance. So as you can see from the title of the video, we'll be discussing why Adidas need to sign Haaland. And if you don't know, Adidas in the next few years might have a problem. Now what the problem is, you may ask, I'm going to tell you. Now the issue Adidas have is that soon they'll be looking for a new global face for Adidas football. At this moment in time, it's obviously Messi, but with the World Cup in Qatar coming up next year, there'll be a transition period as you tend to see during World Cups with these player sponsors. And this of course is most likely going to be Messi's last ever World Cup. So once Messi leaves, I think the next kind of global superstar that will be the face of Adidas football would be Pogba. But he's almost closer to 30 and soon he'll be in his twilight years very soon. Now, if you take what I just said, you can kind of split those kind of players into, or kind of stances in like three categories. So you have the long-term face who's on his way out. You've got the kind of guy who's in the middle, who's like the kind of the main face of the brand at this moment in time. And you've got like that kind of new kid on the block. So now if I take it to Adidas's rivals at Nike, they've already filled those positions. So number one, the long-term would be obviously Cristiano Ronaldo. Secondly, you could argue maybe it was like De Bruyne, I don't know. And then third, that new kid on the block is obviously Mbappe. But you know, it could be argued that Mbappe's already overtaking De Bruyne. He probably already has. Now with Nike already filled all those spots, where does that leave Haaland? You can't have two main faces of the brand. It also wouldn't be the first time Adidas have actually had this problem. So if you go back to 2006, they faced the exact same kind of issue. So the player going out the door was Zinedine Zidane, who did that in memorable style. And then you could argue the next people who are next up, or you could say was maybe Kaká. Some may argue Jordan Lampard as well, and that's fine, that's up to you. And then they kind of had that kind of gap where who's the new kid on the block that's going to be like that long-term face for the brand. And oddly enough, it is their current long-term face who they took from Nike. So yeah, if you didn't know before, Lionel Messi used to be a Nike athlete. So before he wore the F50 for Adidas, he was actually he wore probably every single style that was out there for Nike. So he wore the Tiempo, the Mercurial, the Nike Total 90, pretty much everything that was out there. And he even featured in some of Nike's Joga Bonito ad campaigns, also known as the best ad campaign that you will ever see in football. So yeah, he was even featured in that. So you know, it's almost kind of weird to think that Nike both had Ronaldo and Messi both in the same boot, in the same ad campaign. Very strange, but it happened. Also, the same kind of thing with Pogba as well. Pogba used to wear CTRs before he eventually moved to Nike and started wearing the Predators, or the Aces at the time. And strangely enough, both these kind of decisions where Messi and Pogba switched from Nike to Adidas was just after or around before World Cup. So Messi 2006 World Cup, Pogba it was the 2014 World Cup. Now back to Haaland. So what I'm going to do now is present a case for why the UEFA Forward of the Year should be Adidas' next global face for their brand. So reason number one as to why Adidas should sign Haaland is because it probably will be easier, as he doesn't seem to be as high priority at Nike as he should be. Now what I mean by this is, like, if you look at some of the behaviors by Nike and some of the things that they've done, it doesn't make sense why he's not in more marketing ads or getting signature boots, etc. So as far as I know, the only kind of special treatment Haaland has got from Nike is, number one, he's part of Team Dream Speed, which is really nothing. These are just a bunch of players who are like, their idols Ronaldo and they wear the same boots as Ronaldo or a certain colour with Ronaldo. Like, it really means nothing. You know, you've got Bruno, you've got Fati, Vinicius and Mbappe as well. So like, I don't know, I don't see too much into that. And he's got the Golden Boy, he got that signature Mercurial for winning Golden Boy, of course. Now say compare that to Jadon Sancho, and this isn't taking anything away from Sancho, so I don't understand how someone like Haaland of his level and popularity so far hasn't also kind of got a commercial signature boot, but Sancho has You know, both players warrant one in my opinion, but the fact that Nike haven't given one to Haaland doesn't quite make sense. So that just tells to me that he's maybe not as high priority at Nike as maybe he should be. So that's something that Adidas should capitalize upon. So reason number 2, personally I don't really like this reason, but you know, you can't really deny it. So Haaland is the only player under the age of 25 that can even compare to Mbappe's starboy factor, in my opinion anyway. I know there's others that aren't wearing a Nike, so you could have the likes of maybe Pedri for example, or Bellingham. But in my honest opinion, the only one that could possibly contend with Mbappe in the coming years is going to be Haaland. And the reason I don't particularly like kind of putting them together is because like it's already pitted as Ronaldo versus Messi part 2. I don't think we're going to see anyone as good as Messi and Ronaldo ever again in my lifetime personally. That's what I think anyway. To be fair, thinking anyone's going to be better than them is actually quite scary. But yeah, I don't like putting them to that kind of standard. They're their own players, so in that respect I don't like to do it, but like that's how it's seemingly going to do it. So having Mbappe and Haaland at the same brand is going to cause a huge kind of monopoly for Nike in the coming years, and Adidas won't be able to contend with that, the kind of current portfolio of players that they have. Yeah, they have the likes of, like I said, Pedri, João Felix, but they're not on the kind of superstardom level as I would put Haaland or Mbappe. And reason number 3 is the marketability of his personality. So if you've seen Haaland in interviews,
how are you feeling right now?
I feel very good.
Or just the way he plays, actually just not even just independently, like him as a human being. So like even the kind of tropes and traits he has in terms of his personality and the way he plays football is very marketable. And like he's like, if you've watched the films, I don't know how old or young you are, like he's determined, he's a very straightforward guy, so like he's very straight to the point in everything he does really. It's almost like he's a machine. Even like if you've seen those clips of him in training when he just hits a ball and it just sounds like a volcano's just erupted. You know, that kind of thing is very marketable for like when you get those kind of gimmicky stuff with football boots, like power, pace, those kind of things. That he's just a very good guy to sell those kind of things to, with, should I say. And that's just aside from him as a footballer. He's an exceptional footballer. He probably might end up being one of the greatest of all time, just on his like current projection. You never know. And then he's already won UEFA Player Forward of the Year. He's been shortlisted for the Ballon d'Or. Like just those things aside, you can all add those together. But the marketability of a player is also very, very important. And actually almost makes no sense as to why Nike have not done more for him already. You know, there's no signature commercial boot like Sancho had. He had one, but like, you know, it's only one of one. He didn't get a commercial one. He's not on more of like the poster boardings or marketing things, marketing material. You only see him in the Dream Speed stuff. But as you know, you don't even see him in the Dream Speed stuff actually. No, like I've only seen videos with Bruno and Vinicius maybe, but I've never seen Haaland in any of them. And I actually think I know why, and I'll explain that in the next point. So the reason why I feel like it doesn't make sense for Haaland to actually not be more high in Nike's priority in terms of marketing or football boots and whatnot is mainly because of his agent. So if you don't know who his agent is Mino Raiola. So if you don't know Mino Raiola, he's got other clients such as Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Romelu Lukaku and Mkhitaryan, for example. And whether your opinion is of Raiola, whether you know him or not, it doesn't matter. He's a great agent for his clients, and what he's set up with Haaland is extraordinary. Now, if you don't know where I'm coming from, I'll kind of paint the picture for you. So, Haaland has signed his contract when he signed with Dortmund for so and so many years, and then he has I think it's a £60 million release clause that activates in the coming January transfer window. And what's so good about that is that it's also going to be a World Cup year, and like I said, these kind of brand transitions happen at World Cups or during World Cup years. So my thing is, I think he's also done the same with Nike Raiola for Haaland, in that his contract with Nike kind of runs to the end of a certain period of time, which I think will be maybe the summer of 2020 or maybe January 2020 as well. I don't know. It runs until then. So when Haaland makes this like big move, he now makes this big signing deal with another brand, it opens up the opportunity for that to happen. Whether it's Nike again, I don't think it will, because Mbappe is with the Mercurial. Nike have already put Mbappe on a pedestal. They never really kind of do that thing where they've put two huge players on the same pedestal, But hey, what they actually usually do sometimes when that kind of happens, like they'll give the number player their own kind of silo or brand kind of thing. So you know how Ronaldo's got his CR7s, Ronaldo had R9s, even though he was alongside Thierry Henry, with Nike and the Mercurial at the same time. So I don't maybe see them doing the same for Haaland, because I think Ronaldo's still going to be playing. I don't think they're going to give Mbappe his own kind of signature line just yet. So like I said before, I feel the reason why Nike have not done these things with Haaland is because they're not contractually able to do so. So when Haaland possibly moves in January, he will also sign a new huge deal with probably Adidas. I think it should be, but I think I've heard news recently that Puma also in the running to sign him. Puma seem to have like a resurgence as well. They've kind of rechanged their model. You never really see them signing this many superstars really, even though it's at the expense of Nike losing certain players. So they've signed like Varane, Coleman, etc. So I think maybe putting Haaland in Puma would just be the icing on the cake for them really, and maybe in the coming years they could possibly overtake Adidas. Now the next question would be, I'm Adidas, I've now signed Haaland, what boot do I put him in? So what Adidas have in options are the Copa Plus, the X Speedflow Plus at the moment, and they have the Predator. So right now if you look at Adidas' portfolio, right now the Speedflow is headlined by the likes of Benzema, Messi, Salah, Son. Predator, as we know, is Pogba's boot. They've got other players, but Pogba's the one that kind of goes into it straight away. And then with the Copa, Pedri, Bellingham, yada yada yada. So personally, if I was Adidas, I'd give Haaland the Predator, which is a strange one, because technically, more over the years, you usually see the Predator marketed towards more kind of, if you see midfielders wearing it mostly. So your Kakas, Gerrards, Lampards on one stage, Beckham. It's marketed mainly as a midfielder's boot. But I feel the kind of recent kind of change to the Predator, the kind of like out there kind of abstract kind of look, aggressive look to it, kind of matches more with Haaland's personality, if that makes sense. It's very out there, just like Haaland. They're very unique boots in the way they look, and then Haaland himself is a very unique player in the way the way he acts, talks, plays. For example, you've never seen a player like Haaland before. Well, I've never, at least anyway. And that kind of lines up nicely. So like in the coming 5 years, when Pogba and Messi are out the window, you've now got 3 great brand faces for each silo. So Predator, you've got Haaland. Speedflow, you've got João Felix. If I'm pronouncing any of these names tonight, I'm very sorry as well. And then in the Copa, you've got Pedri or Bellingham. Now, what I've said throughout this video, it doesn't necessarily have to be Adidas or Haaland signs for, because based on the points that I've kind of said, it's open for anyone to kind of come and grab him if they have the money to do so. So the likes of Puma and New Balance, for example, they can come and try and sign Haaland if they've got the cash to do so. But yeah, just to summarize some of the stuff that I've said as to why Adidas should sign Haaland is, number one, he's the only one I can actually personally see. You may disagree on this point, but in terms of Starboy factor and career potential, I think he's the only one that can compete with Mbappe, who's already solidified his place with Nike. Number two, that the fact that he doesn't seem as high priority as Nike as he should be. So he doesn't seem to be in a lot of the market material. He doesn't have his own signature boot that went commercial anyway. Sancho got his one and we saw that everywhere. And number three, in terms of marketability, he's got everything you've got. He's got charisma, he's got the traits, he's got everything that you need to sell anything really. And then the kind of reasons as to why maybe he's not seen more and more marketable stuff or got his own signature boot, yada yada, is because the way Raiola kind of set him up for when his release clause is eventually activated. So when he does sign for a new club, there's a lot more attention on him. So he also signed a new deal with a new brand, for example, whether that's another brand such as Adidas, Puma, New Balance. Maybe he stays on Nike. I personally don't see him staying with Nike, but who knows. And that is it for the video, guys. If you thought it was sublime, like the video. If you thought it was subpar, still like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And also, if you agree with what I'm saying or understand where I'm coming from, comment down below your thoughts. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Do you disagree with what I'm saying? Should Adidas try and sign someone else? You know, there's other players who are up and coming, so the likes of that aren't with Adidas, should I say? So like sort of Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's at Under Armour. You know, Under Armour aren't really too known for their whole boots. They've got maybe 2 sponsors I can think of. They lost the Xhaka last year, but they've got Depay and Trent. Those are the only other 2 that I can really see. So maybe trying to picking off one of those 2 actually. Maybe Depay could be the next person that Adidas try to sign. I don't know, but yeah. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials. They'll be on screen. Don't forget to check out me and my friend's podcast, El Rondo. That'll also be on screen and in the comment section down below, along with my socials, what I forgot to say. And yeah, my name has been Sub. This is SubStanceFtbl. Thanks for watching and peace out.